Green 4, where is the gun switch? Well, if you're a newly arrived pilot on your first combat mission in the cockpit of a US F-86 Sabre, with a North Korean MiG-15 on your tail, so clanked up and so tight you can't remember where the gun switch is. That's what you whispered over the radio, praying for a quick response from your lead pilot. It was January 1951, and the air war over MiG Alley, the northwestern corner of North Korea along the Yalu River, was thrown into a turmoil. A major Chinese and North Korean winter offensive forced US F-86 Sabre units to withdraw from Kimpo Airfield to Japan, temporarily bringing regular jet patrols over the area to a halt. Flying from Japan put MiG Alley beyond the practical combat radius of the F-86s, pausing the intense jet versus jet patrols that had begun late the previous year. Remaining elements adjusted operations, and F-86s temporarily flew close air support and fighter-bomber missions from southern fields like Daegu, when weather and frontlines permitted. Following a brief absence, Soviet-piloted MiG-15s re-emerged in force, leading to the first direct combat encounters between US F-84 Thunderjets and MiG-15s, confirming to intelligence that covert Soviet pilots were driving the communist air threat. The very first F-86s sent to Korea did not initially have the full operational advantage of the radar range and gun sight. The APG-30 system had reliability issues and was progressively improved, or as one pilot put it, "I just stick a piece of chewing gum on my windscreen and use that as a sight." The US F-86 Sabres was assigned to an air superiority role, tasked with sweeping ahead of bomber formations to counter MiG air superiority rather than close escort duties, because its high-value mission was clearing the skies rather than tethering itself to slower bomber boxes. The time screen. F-86 Sabres swept 15 to 30 minutes ahead of the B-29 bomber formations, giving them a chance to intercept MiGs before they could reach the bombers. The distance. Because the Sabres were much faster than the B-29s, they could position themselves 100 to 200 miles ahead of the bomber stream. The altitude. Sabres generally patrolled at around 35,000 to 45,000 feet, giving them an altitude advantage over the slower B-29s and allowing them to engage diving MiGs. The Soviet response. Soviet radar and ground control interception, GCI, reduced the effectiveness of these sweeps. Controllers could detect approaching American formations and direct MiG-15s toward favorable positions, bypassing the Sabres. Rather than immediately engaging the F-86, MiGs could sometimes avoid or outmaneuver the forward sweeps, preserving fuel and positioning themselves to attack the bomber formations behind them. High-altitude ambushes. With GCI assistance, MiGs could climb to high altitude and then make fast diving attacks on the B-29s and their escorts, turning the Sabre's carefully planned time and distance advantage into a much less reliable barrier. January 25, 1951, the re-entry strike. Following their move to Japan, this date marked the first major long-range ambush coordinated through the Daegu staging pipeline. The mission. F-86As from the 335th and 336th Fighter Interceptor Squadrons flew from Japan, refueled at Daegu, and headed north towards the Yalu. The engagement. Near Sinju, Sabres at 30,000 feet spotted a large formation of Soviet-piloted MiG-15s crossing from their bases at Antung, China. The action. Taking the MiGs by surprise, the Sabres attacked. Captain James Jabara scored his first confirmed victory, damaging another MiG, while Colonel John C. Meyer, commander of the False Fighter Interceptor Group, led his flight in, shooting down a second. Outcome: 2 MiG-15s confirmed destroyed, several damaged, and no US Sabres lost. The following day, equally successful, proved that despite extreme range limitations and primitive freezing refuel conditions on the ground in South Korea, the F-86 Sabre could still successfully dominate the superior climbing MiG-15 through veteran pilot tactics. Thanks for staying to the end. We really appreciate having you on board. And if you enjoyed this, there are 290 plus videos published prior to this one, and more in pipeline, so welcome back.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.